Millions of years ago, the landmass that became India was a drifting, isolated island. It was dominated by giant herbivores, like the stegodon, a prehistoric relative of the elephant with tusks reaching 10 feet in length. Roughly 1.5 million years ago, a human ancestor arrived to challenge these giants, Homo erectus. They were physically imposing, with heavy musculature and thick bones. Their primary technology was the stone hand axe, a heavy, blunt tool used to butcher large carcasses. For hundreds of thousands of years, their raw physical strength made them the top predators of the subcontinent. That dominance was ended by a geological event thousands of miles away. In Indonesia, the Toba Supervolcano erupted. It was a massive explosion that released enough ash to darken the skies across Asia, eventually reaching the Indian subcontinent. The resulting volcanic winter dropped global temperatures and blocked the sunlight needed for forests to grow. Rivers became clogged with toxic debris, and the large animals that Homo erectus relied on for calories began to die out. This chart shows the biological trap created by the eruption. Their heavy, muscular bodies required a high daily intake of protein to function. When the megafauna disappeared, Homo erectus faced a permanent caloric deficit. Their physical size, once an advantage, now meant they required more food than the dying environment could provide. Without the ability to sustain their massive bodies on smaller, faster prey, the first humans in India starved. They vanished, leaving the subcontinent silent and empty for thousands of years. Around 65,000 years ago, a different species reached India, Homo Sapiens. These travelers were physically smaller and lacked the raw strength of their predecessors, but they brought a new approach to survival. The recovering Indian jungles were filled with predators like leopards and tigers. To protect themselves, these new arrivals moved into the Bhimbetka Caves of central India. These natural rock shelters provided a high ground advantage and thick walls that predators couldn't penetrate. They used fire as a permanent security system. A flame kept at the cave mouth acted as a barrier that no predator would cross. Beyond safety, the fire allowed the group to gather and communicate. This daily interaction built the trust necessary for the tribe to function as a single unit. While their caves were secure, finding food was difficult. The slow giants of the past were gone, replaced by fast, skittish animals like deer and rabbits. The heavy stone axes of the past were useless against prey that could flee at the slightest sound. Survival required a technological shift. They began crafting microliths, tiny, razor-sharp blades of stone, often less than an inch long. As this animation shows, these blades were glued to the ends of wood or bone shafts. This created lightweight, aerodynamic spears and arrows, allowing humans to strike fast-moving prey from a safe distance. Homo sapiens didn't survive in India by being stronger than the animals they hunted. They survived by using precision tools to strike from the shadows. Life in the jungle was unpredictable, so they developed a system of mutual insurance. If a hunter returned with meat, it was shared among the whole group. This ensured that even on the days a hunter failed, the rest of the tribe would provide for them, creating a bond of shared survival. Once their immediate physical needs were met, these humans began to express their experiences through symbols. They started to translate their observations of the natural world into something more permanent. On the walls of the Bhimbetka Caves, they used ground minerals to paint scenes of their lives. These images of animals and hunters functioned as a ritual intended to bring the tribe luck or focus before a difficult hunt. This symbolic thinking extended to how they treated their dead. In burial sites found across Uttar Pradesh, archaeologists discovered that individuals were buried with their jewelry and tools. This suggests they believed life didn't simply end at death, but continued in some other form that required the same tools they used on Earth. By combining survival strategies with the creation of art and ritual, these early groups moved beyond being a collection of individuals. They had become a society with a shared identity and a common culture. Over thousands of years, humans observed the patterns of wild grains and began to manage their growth. This gradual transition to agriculture meant they no longer had to follow herds. They could stay in one place, clear the land, and produce their own food. Settled life led to a rapid increase in social complexity. By 5,000 years ago, the Indus Valley had developed into an interconnected network of cities. Artifacts like this carved stone seal suggest a system of administration and trade that reached across the region. These cities were built with a high degree of centralized planning. Streets were laid out in a grid, and the construction used standardized materials. Across thousands of miles, every baked brick used in their homes followed a strict 4:2:1 ratio. They were also experts in water management. Their cities featured covered drainage systems and private bathrooms in most homes. These systems were designed to move waste away from living areas, prioritizing public health centuries before other civilizations. Engineering projects like the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro demonstrate their technical skill. To keep this massive basin from leaking, the builders applied a layer of natural bitumen between the brick walls, creating a waterproof seal that held for millennia. As technology progressed into the Bronze and Iron Ages, archaeologists have found copper swords and chariots at sites like Sonali. These physical remains show that the complex warfare and social structures described in ancient Indian history were based on a tangible reality. The journey from the volcanic ash of Toba to the engineered streets of the Indus Valley shows the persistence of human adaptability. Each technological shift, from the microlith blade to the standardized brick, allowed our ancestors to turn a hostile environment into the foundation of a civilization.